everyone. Good morning. Chag Sameach. Oh, hang on. I have to mute myself over here. Good morning.
You just exit out.
Chag Sameach. Okay. All right. We are live in two places, here on Zoom and also on YouTube. So wherever you're joining us, we wish you a Chag Sameach. We're going to begin our Shavuot Yizkor this morning with Mi Ha'ish from Psalm 34.
Mi ha'ish hafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov mi ha'ish hafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov netzor leshon chameira usfatecha midaber mirma sur merav asetov bakesh shalom verodfehu mi ha'ish hafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov mi ha'ish hafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov netzor leshon chameira usfatecha midaber mirma sur meirav asetov bakesh shalom verodfehu mi ha'ish hafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov mi ha'ish hafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov.
We join together on this festival of Shavuot, the fourth of 4 times that we offer our Yizkor service throughout the Jewish year, on Yom Kippur and on each of our pilgrimage festivals. And as we join together, we do so in memory of loved ones, and we do so in celebration of this festival of Shavuot. And so this morning, we will make our way through some of our morning liturgy this festival morning, and we'll do some reflecting and remembering of our loved ones that we've joined here together to remember as a community. If you're following along in a prayer book, which you don't have to be, we'll try to announce some of the page numbers. For part of the Yizkor service, we'll actually share the screen so you'll be able to follow along digitally, but join in whatever way feels meaningful with your voice and your heart, whatever feels comfortable for you. And wherever we are, we know that we're connected here today through these little boxes on our Zoom screen or through YouTube or whatever it is that we really do come to form this virtual but real community. We will begin, if you're in the festival prayer book, with a reading for Shavuot, which is on page 148, but you can just listen also, you don't have to follow along in the prayer book. A reading for Shavuot. Now Mount Sinai was all in smoke, for Adonai had come down upon it in fire. Torah given amidst fire is compared to fire. Just as fire lives forever, so do the words of Torah live forever. When one draws near to fire, one is burned by it. When one moves away from fire, one is chilled. On Shavuot, we warm ourselves by the light of Torah, our precious heritage. And we'll continue with Ma Tovu, to reflect on the amazing dwelling places of our people, not just our beautiful houses of worship, but actually the places where we find ourselves this morning in all of their glory and splendor as well.
Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael vani berov hazdecha avo veitecha eshtahave el hal kodshecha beiratecha אשתחווה להיכל קודשך ביראתך. אדוני אהבתי מעון ביתך ומקום משכן כבודך. אדוני אהבתי מעון ביתך ומקום משכן כבודך. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך אשתחווה היכל קודשך ביראתך אשתחווה להיכל קודשך ביראתך.
There's great wisdom from the ancient sages that we work from the inside out in the morning as we offer our blessings. And so one of the earliest things we're supposed to say in traditional Jewish practice is a blessing for the wonder of our body, the miracle that we were able to wake up this morning and to be however we are in the world physically. And so we'll continue with Asher Yatzar, which is this blessing that sees God as a healer who works wonders. And in fact, just the ability to wake up in the morning is a miracle.
I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me realize I am beautiful and whole. I'm perfect the way I am, and a little broken too. I will live each day as a gift I give to you.
move from the miracle of our physical beings to the miracles that we have the blessing to encounter every day. And there's a section of our liturgy, which we call Nisim B'chol Yom, which acknowledges these daily miracles. And in Mishkan Tefillah, there's a beautiful rendition of this that combines some of the ideas into one prayer. And so I want to offer this prayer, and it'll be in English. As I awaken, let this be my thought. May my day be filled with acts of loving kindness. Let me be drawn to learning and discernment, and may my actions be shaped by mitzvot. Keep me from iniquity, disgrace, and sin. May I not be overwhelmed by temptation or despair. Distance me from evil people and false friends. Let me cultivate a life of goodness. May my hands reach out in kindness and serve God through acts of righteousness. Today and every day, may I merit your mercy by living my life with compassion and love. Holy One of blessing, draw me to your words. Teach me the art of sacred living.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed chasidim tovim la'amo Yisrael.
Together we'll say,
Amen.
So in an acknowledgement of what this day is, the glory of Shavuot, this day that we are taught that we receive Torah, we've been counting up and up and up from Passover, where we exit Egypt and slavery and we're redeemed. We count the Omer all the way to Shavuot, which began last night, which was 50 days from second night Seder, which is kind of an amazing thing to consider, given that so many of us joined our Passover celebrations virtually. We've been doing this now for quite a long time. And this festival of Shavuot is one of real wonder that Moses was able to go up to Mount Sinai, receive Torah for all of the people. And so there's a blessing in our Amidah, which will offer just this one blessing of the Amidah, which in the festival book can be found on page 217, and it's Kiddushat Hayom. So on Shabbat and on our festivals, we have this blessing, and it changes depending on what the day is. Kiddushat Hayom is a blessing that acknowledges the holiness of the day. So our Amidah takes us on this journey, acknowledging God's power and our relationship through the generations. And then we arrive at this blessing, which is all about acknowledging the holiness of the day on which we find ourselves, which is a powerful thing to do really every day. But with particular significance on a festival holiday like Shavuot. So we will offer from the festival Tefillah Kiddushat Hayom. I think it's just starts here. Yep. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or we can read it in English. If you're following along, it'll be on. We'll start on what did I say?
2:14.
2:14. You have chosen us in love and favor by making us holy through your mitzvot and drawing us close to your service,
that through us your great and holy name may become known in all the earth.
In your love, Adonai, our God, you have given us feasts of gladness and seasons of joy, this festival of Shavuot, season of receiving Torah, to unite in worship and recall the exodus from Egypt. Our God and God of our ancestors, be mindful of your people Israel and recall our merit for good and grace, and in loving kindness and compassion for life and peace on this festival of Shavuot. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tova.
Amen.
Ufoktenu vo livracha.
Amen.
V'hoshienu vo l'chaim.
Amen.
This day remember us for well-being.
Amen.
This day bless us with your nearness.
Amen.
This day help us to a fuller life.
Amen.
Bestow upon us the blessing of your holy festivals, and may we so celebrate them as to be worthy of your blessing. Our God and God of our ancestors, make us holy with your mitzvot, and let your Torah be our way of life. May our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Let your holy festivals remain our heritage, and let us celebrate them with joy so that all Israel, hallowing your name, may have cause to rejoice. We praise you, Adonai, who sanctifies the house of Israel and the festivals.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Yisrael v'hazmanim.
I love that the way that we refer to Shavuot is the Zman Matan Toratinu, the time of the giving of the Torah. And Matan also means gift. And so it's like we've received not just this great, important teaching, but also this gift of Torah. And I know, at least on Zoom, so many of the names that we see in the participant list are folks that we study Torah with all the time. And you know the gift that is Torah and that is study. We are going to transition now into the beginning of the Yizkor piece of our Yizkor service this morning, moving from the festival liturgy and into the Yizkor service itself. And as we do so, we'll get to share some poetry and some psalms and some different passages that we feel are meaningful. The Yizkor service in the festival book will begin on page 310, and we're going to share some of the pages here with you as we go through and reflect on the loved ones that we're missing this morning. Do you mind if I make this full screen? Let's see. Okay, can you give us a nod if you can see the text well? Okay, I'm getting a few nods. All right. Let me just move this over here. Oops. Okay.
Adonai madam batedai hu ben enosh vat chashvehu adam lahevel damayamav kitzel over בבוקר יציץ וחלב לערב ימולל ויבש תשב אנוש הדקה ותאמר שובו בני אדם לו חכמו ישכילו זאת יבינו לאחריתם כי לא במותו ייקח הכל לא ירד אחריו כבודו שמור תמורי ישר כי אחרית לשלום פודה אדוני נפש עבדיו ולא ישמו כל החוסים בו.
Offer these same words in the English. Adonai, what are we that you have regard for us? What are we that you are mindful of us? We are like a breath. Our days are as a passing shadow. We come and go like grass, which in the morning shoots up renewed, and in the evening fades and withers. You cause us to revert to dust, saying, return, O mortal creatures. Would that we were wise, that we understood where we were going. For when we die, we carry nothing away. Our glory does not accompany us. Mark the wholehearted and behold the upright. They shall have peace. Adonai, you redeem the soul of your servants, and none who trust in you shall be desolate. We hope you'll join us on this facing page, a poem of great meaning to so many of us.
Birth is the beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey, stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey from birth to death
to life everlasting. We'll continue with Psalm 23.
Adonai roi lo echsar bihinot sheyarbitzeni alamei menuchot ינעלני. נפשי שובב ישובב, ינחני במגלי צדק, ינחני במגלי צדק, למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות, לא אירא, כי אתה עמדי, שפתך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי, דשנת ושמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. אדוני רואי לא אחסר, אדוני רואי לא אחסר.
A Psalm of David. Adonai is my shepherd, I lack nothing. God makes me lie down in green pastures. God leads me to water in places of repose. God renews my life. God guides me in right paths as befits God's name. Though I walk through a valley of deepest darkness, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You spread a table for me in full view of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My drink is abundant. Only goodness and steadfast love shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai for many long years. We'll continue with Psalm 121, Esa Einai.
אשא עיני אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי, עזרי מעם אדוני, עושה שמים וארץ. אל ייתן למות רגליך, אל ינום שומרך, הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, שומר, שומר ישראל. אדוני שומרך, אדוני צילך, על יד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה, וירח בלילה. Adonai yishmorecha mikol ra, yishmor et nafshecha, Adonai yishmor tzeitcha uvoecha, me'ata ve'ad olam. Me'ata ve'ad olam.
I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. See, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. Adonai is your guardian. Adonai is your protection at your right hand. By day, the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. Adonai will guard you from all harm. God will guard your life. Adonai will guard your going and coming now and forever. Okay, we're going to just do a quick, stop share. Okay. Growing up, my family never, ever ate Indian food. Though we are a food-focused family, and my dad has worked in the restaurant industry since he was in college, it was just never a cuisine that found its way into the Mulbaum home. In the winter of my sophomore year of high school, I went on my congregational confirmation trip to Washington, D.C., the same trip that we send our Beth-El teens on each year. While we were there, my rabbi took us to Chinatown for, of all things, Indian food. I didn't know the difference between tikka masala or aloo gobi, and so I guessed wildly at the menu and picked lamb vindaloo. It was super spicy, which I loved. I remember how it came in this little silver dish, and all of us confirmands marveled at how delicious everything was. It happens that now I absolutely love Indian food, and I trace that love all the way back to the tiny restaurant in DC's Chinatown where my rabbi opened up my world through my palate and reminded me of the power of curiosity and how deliciously that curiosity can pay off. It was a small moment that continues to impact me. As my friend Rachel said a couple of weeks ago, every rabbi has a rabbi. And sadly, tragically, my rabbi died on May 8th this year from metastatic breast cancer. At age 54, she saw her first child's wedding, but didn't get to see her fourth child's bat mitzvah. Rabbi Sissy Karan of blessed memory accompanied my family through my brother and sister's b'nai mitzvah, my mom's adult bat mitzvah, and all three of our confirmations. She officiated at our wedding, joining us as a family under the chuppah. And she joined my family when we grieved our own losses, guiding us through the process of mourning. And now as I grieve her passing, she's the one I want to call, but I can't. As we join together on this festival of Shavuot, we join our sorrows and our memories as a community. Some of us carry the fresh sting of grief, while others have had grief as their companion for many moons. Wherever you are in your stage of remembering, today we weave our paths together into a sacred tapestry of memory. On this holiday where we reflect on the celebration and revelation of Torah, we also reflect on the many ways our loved ones' lives revealed Torah to us. Last Yom Kippur, my Rabbi Sissy gave a sermon entitled, "Everything Has a Crack, the Art and Beauty of Vulnerability." I don't know if she knew it would be her last Yom Kippur, but the words she taught that day were shared by her son during a Zoom Shiva Minyan, the day of her socially distant funeral. And I want to share an excerpt of her teaching here. She wrote, "We read in a Talmudic story that the angels argued with God about whether to give the Torah to humanity. According to legend, Moses went to heaven to receive the Torah while the children of Israel waited in panic below. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi said, when Moses ascended on high, the ministering angels spoke before the Holy One, saying, 'Sovereign of the universe, what business has a human being among us?' 'He has come to receive the Torah,' answered God. The angels replied, "You've hidden the Torah since before creation, and you want to give that secret treasure to mere flesh and blood?" They continued in the words of the Psalms, "What is humankind that you are mindful of them?" God, almost like a boxing coach, said to Moses, "Reply to them with an answer." So Moses asked, "Sovereign of the universe, this Torah that you give me, what is written in it?" God replied to Moses, "It says, 'I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt.'" And Moses said to the angels, "Okay, did you go down to Egypt? Were you enslaved to Pharaoh? Why should you get Torah?" Moses asked God, "What else is written in it?" And God answered, "You shall have no other gods." Moses said to the angels, "Do you live among nations of idolaters?" "What else does it say, God?" "Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy." Moses said to the angels, "You don't do any creative labor, so what do you need with rest?" And he said, "What else, God?" So God said, "You shall not swear, tisah, falsely by God's name." And Moses said to the angels, "Do you angels do business, masa, that you might swear in contracts?" "What else does it say, God?" God said, "Honor your father and your mother." And Moses asked the angels, "Do any of you have a father or a mother?" And finally, Moses said, "What else does it say?" And God said, "You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal." Moses concluded his argument. "Is there any jealousy among you? Is the evil impulse among you?" Moses concluded, and immediately the angels conceded. "You see," Rabbi Sissy Koran says, "we are not like angels or divine beings. We are crowned in the glory and honor of life. We need the laws of Torah to keep us from our imperfect urges and to propel us to live our lives with truth and authenticity. Our lives are messy with the experiences of living, our entrapments, business, families, jealousies. We are imperfect because of life itself, because of our humanity. Psalm chapter 8, verse 5 says, "What is humankind that you are mindful of us? You have made humankind a little less than divine and crowned us with glory and honor." We are not angels or perfect. Rabbi Koran concludes, "I say to each of our bar and bat mitzvah students that I don't need them to be perfect. If that was the point, I would program a robot to read Torah. What I ask is for each of them to do their part and to take their part in our community, to be in it with us as human beings, to bring their humanity and ours together." The midrash that Rabbi Koran taught on Yom Kippur plays with the 10 Commandments, the text that we read last night at our Shavuot festival service. We know Jewish law is bigger than these 10 Commandments, but they serve as a symbol for Jewish life and as a framework for our people's essential values. At its core, the Decalogue is a list of rules for human beings. It isn't for the divine court. It isn't for the ministering angels. Torah is for us, for humanity to grapple with, to marvel at, to participate in, to receive, and to learn and to teach. And Torah is so much bigger than the sacred scrolls we keep in the Holy Ark. Torah is the way we live our lives, the way we cultivate relationships with other people and the world around us. Sissy taught great Torah, and hers wasn't all on a source sheet or in her sermons. She taught the Torah of a life well lived, of how to cherish loved ones, of how to show up, of how to be all the things she was: a partner, a daughter, a sister, a parent, a friend, and a rabbi. I recently heard a teaching from Rabbi Leah Berkowitz. There's a tradition when we recite Kaddish for a loved one, it's as if we're advocating for their passage into Olam Haba, the paradise of the world to come. But as Rabbi Berkowitz says, there's a different way of understanding this tradition. It's not that we're the advocate in the holy court of judgment. Instead, our lives, the way we are impacted by our loved ones, serves as evidence on their behalf. We know there is a lot of heartache and a lot of grief in our world right now. With an estimated 345,000 deaths attributed to COVID-19 worldwide, there are many families newly missing their loved ones. And on top of the grief caused by the pandemic, there are the other losses. In our community, there are those loved ones whose lives have ended in this bizarre period of separation, grieved in unfulfilling and insufficient ways, with rituals put on hold and gatherings of memory postponed. And as we join together this morning, there are also those whom we remember whose days ended many months or years ago. We wander through the wilderness of loss and grief at our own pace, but we wander together side by side. As human beings, we are indeed broken and vulnerable, but it is exactly that brokenness and vulnerability that helps us to receive the beauty of Torah, that lets us be in close relationship with each other and with God. As we join together this Shavuot morning in memory, we hold dear those relationships we have come here to remember. Though our loved ones are no longer with us in this life, we live our lives with their guiding lights. Their souls have taught us Torah. As we remember those whom we have loved and lost, we bring our humanity together. As we live our lives, our way of being is a reminder of those who have impacted us, raised us up, and helped make us into who we are today. This Shavuot, may we find wonder and humility in the myriad ways, some large, some small, that those whom we remember have helped us be who we are. And may we find comfort in the Torah of their lives. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will.
Thank you. In the rising of the sun, we remember. In the blowing of the wind, we remember. In the opening of buds, we remember. We remember. In the blueness of the sky, we remember. In the rustling of the leaves, we remember. As the year starts and it ends, we remember. We remember. When we're weary and need strength, we remember. When we're lost and sick at heart, we remember. When we've joys we yearn to share, we remember. We remember. So long as we live, they too shall live. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. As we remember, as we remember, we remember.
In a moment, we will share our screen once more so you can have the text of the Silent Yizkor prayer. And as we prepare to remember our loved ones, I want to invite everyone who's joining us on Zoom to share the names of all of those loved ones you're remembering in our chat feature so that we can add their names to the names of our own loved ones. And you can find that at the bottom of the screen. You'll see a little speech bubble that says chat. So if you feel comfortable and you want to share your loved ones' names and maybe who they are to you, your relationship with them, you can put that in the chat for us to share. We are going to once more share our screen to make sure everyone has this one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? This?
Oh, no.
Sorry, this one. So you can have the words of our Yizkor prayer here to read or recite or interact with in whatever way feels most meaningful to you. So we'll offer some silent moments here and then we'll join back together shortly. So powerful to see so many of your loved ones' names popping up, and we join all of our fondness for those loved ones with the fondness for our own. We know that grief can be very lonely, and particularly in this time where we're not able to gather together in person, it can feel really challenging to just see loved ones through the screen. And so I hope that seeing names will bring a little bit of connection for each one of us. If you haven't shared the names and you want to, please feel free to continue on. We're going to turn now to El Malei Rachamim, and we'll offer this first in Hebrew and then in English. If you're able to and you feel so moved, please join us in rising.
El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamramim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanafei HaShekhinah, Im HaKedoshim U'Tehorim, Kezohar HaRakia Masirim, Lenishmat Yakireinu Shehalchu Le'olamam. Bal harachamim yasirem beseter knafav le'olamim, v'yitzror b'tzror hachayim et nishmatam, Adonai hu nachalatam, vayanochu b'shalom al mishkavam, v'nomar amen.
Fully compassionate God on high, to our loved ones who have entered eternity, grant clear and certain rest with you in the lofty heights of the sacred and pure, whose brightness shines like the very glow of heaven. Source of mercy, forever enfold them in the embrace of your wings, secure their souls in eternity. Adonai, they are yours. They will rest in peace. And together we'll say, Amen.
Amen.
If you're standing, you may be seated. Okay. Oops, we're not doing away now. Sorry. Technical difficulty. So sorry, everyone. As we move towards our recitation of Kaddish, I want to invite all of us, if you feel so moved, to read this poem here on the screen with me, or to just listen as we prepare to recite our ancient words of Kaddish Yatom. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. With the fond memories or complicated memories of the loved ones whose names we share here today, or those whom we haven't named yet, but that we're thinking of and holding in our hearts, we will offer these ancient and holy words of Kaddish Yatom, which can be found on your screen. Please rise if you feel so moved. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. We pray that the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to the world. Together we'll say, Amen. You may be seated if you're standing. Stop our screen share. So as we go out from this place of memory back into the rest of the world, we know that that's a false dichotomy. And in fact, we're always in a place of memory. We always carry our loved ones with us. And as we conclude our service this morning, we'll sing the words of Oseh Shalom. And we pray that it's not just a peace for the world or some kind of idealistic peace, but actually a peace and a feeling of wholeness for each one of us and for all the ones that we love. And that the memories of the loved ones that we carry with us truly do live on to be a blessing.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Amen. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We're so grateful that you joined us here this morning. We wish you a Chag Sameach, a very happy Shavuot. We hope that you go from strength to strength, and we will see you very soon. Chag Sameach, everyone.
Chag Sameach, and thank you for your beautiful service.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Santa.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Samaya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.